Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Adventures in Asheville show, featuring Steve and Karen Wilson, owners and innkeepers of the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast. Hey, everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's Adventures in Asheville show. We are streaming live from the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast, which is nestled in the heart of the Montfort Historic District of Asheville, very close to the downtown region. You can actually walk there if you want to, but also just a very historic neighborhood with about 600 historic homes. And it's just close to get to everything you want to do in this region, like the Blue Ridge Parkway, the Pisgah National Forest, and also amazing places like when you think about also going to the WNC Nature Center, which we just did. Very excited because they'll be on the show. Also going out to places like waterfalls at Looking Glass Falls is really close. The Biltmore Mansion is there. So very excited to be back here. And I encourage you to go to lion-rose.com so you can see where Nancy and I have been hanging out for the last couple days here in beautiful Asheville, which is all abloom. Steve, how you doing? It's good to
Doing
talk to
good.
you. Is it nice upstairs in one of your suites there?
Yeah, it's nice, comfortable. You better believe it. Sitting on
Oh,
one of
that.
the painting couches.
Oh, there you go. Oh, nice, nice.
I
And
haven't
then,
painted yet.
yeah, Karen, where are you? Are you upstairs or downstairs in your wonderful mansion? Welcome back. Oh, I don't know if she's through yet here. Okay, I'm trying to get there. But yeah, it's a beautiful day and everything's in bloom, Steve. Everything.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
It's gorgeous
Especially,
out there. It really is gorgeous. And we've
Mhm.
got Cindy from the WN Nature Center here on the show. And we went there yesterday. We got rained on at the end, but we managed to pretty much see everything that we could. And it is beautiful out there. And they are finally open. They were closed for a little bit. But welcome back, Cindy. How are you?
Hi, thanks. We're doing great at the WNC Nature Center. Thanks. Thanks for the visit.
It's good to have you
Mhm.
here. Really good to have you here. And thanks for having us over at the Nature Center because it's got to be good to be back open. You had to like build yourself a bridge, right?
While we couldn't build ourselves a bridge, we had to, clear ourselves a road and make sure that an existing bridge was structurally sound. And after all of those things occurred, we were able to reopen our gates to members on March 10th and then to the general public on the 17th of March.
Oh, wow, that is cool. So you're back open on St. Patrick's Day. So you wanted the luck of the Irish?
Wait. Yes, the luck of something for sure.
Oh my gosh. It is so cool to finally go there. You've been on the show a few times and of course, Steve wanted to make a beeline for the Hellbender, you know.
Yeah, meatloaf.
He was
He's
like,
hiding pretty good today or yesterday.
yeah, he was. But yeah, can you give everyone an overview of the Nature Center? Because there's a side of me that says I kind of feel like when people come to Asheville for the first time before they go into the Pisgah National Forest, the Blue Ridge Parkway, or even going all the way down to Smoky Mountains National Park, which isn't that far, but it's a beautiful drive. That this would be a good way for them to get to understand the regional wildlife, right?
I mean, I think you really hit the nail on the head with that. The WNC Nature Center, while we are an AZA accredited, considered zoo, we are certainly not a zoo, right? You don't walk in there
No.
and see lions and tigers and giraffes, but what you will see are plants and animals that are representing Southern Appalachia's past and current and future even, because we
Hmm.
have conservation programs that are helping to breed red wolves back into the population. And then we have our hellbender who has currently been designated endangered, and all of our plants and animals represent life here in Southern Appalachia. So it's a great way to really understand what you're going to see as you walk around our area, specifically what snakes you're going to run into. And
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
and turtles. And turtles.
And bears.
Yeah.
Frog,
And
salamander.
bobcats, right.
Oh, yes. And
Precisely.
okay, the wolves are now we gotta get you've got red pandas, and those were actually Karen was saying to me that these were actually native here like quite a few years ago. the red
Yeah.
pandas?
So right before you happen upon the red panda habitat, there's a little sort of alcove that has a plate that explains why our red pandas are connected to what's called the Bristol's panda. There was a construction project going on in Tennessee, and they unearthed prehistoric bones of tapirs and rhinoceros and pandas. And so the Bristol's panda is, a relative of the red panda, and therefore helps to sort of explain this animal's significance in our region.
Ah, so cool to
That's very
see. I mean,
cool.
we missed a little bit of that because that's when it started to rain on us,
Mhm.
but we did see them all, like, hunkered up. But you've also got, red wolves, and that's something that I think really is amazing. We've been to Alligator River, National Wildlife
Alligator
Mhm.
Alley. Yeah.
Valley, yes, Nancy and I've been there, to the National Wildlife Refuge, and, I was all excited and to hopefully see one, and, apparently they don't listen when, just because we were there, they didn't show up. But you're doing this program and you can see the red wolves, which were awesome to watch.
Mhm.
You can see them at the WNC Nature Center. So, yeah, can you tell us a bit about that? Because this is like a whole conservation program, right?
Yeah, so it's, a conservation program that is supported through the Department of Natural Resources because we are working really hard to repopulate this beautiful animal in our region.
Mhm.
Coastal Carolina, is home to the red wolf population, and over the years, people have caused a decline in their population for various reasons, including, them darting across the roads, getting hit by cars, them being mistaken for coyotes, a nuisance. And so, our goal here is to keep this species alive. And so, with our work in our red wolf run habitat, we're able to support this really important conservation effort. They're part of the SAFE program, which is the AZA accredited repopulation program, Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And
Mhm.
so we're really proud of this work, really proud of this work. And those red wolves, I don't know, anyone listening remembers like a year and a half ago, it might have been last April, they were born here.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
Oh,
that.
boom.
at the nature center, and they were these tiny little
Mhm.
pups that fit in the palm of your hand, and now they can't you can't tell the difference whether they're adults or pups at this point. They're just so big, and they're
Mhm.
thriving.
wow. Everyone, I want to give you the website address to go to. It is wildwnc.org. So you can go see these wonderful animals we're talking about. But also, we've got our next guest on the show, Glenn Merchant. He is the owner and founder of Axeville, the very first axe throwing club in Asheville. If you're feeling a little stressed out about the world, number one, go see the wildlife and learn about the wildlife of Appalachia. But
Mhm.
then you may want to throw an axe. I don't know anybody who right now wouldn't want to throw an axe. You can go to throwaxeville.com. So, welcome back, Glenn. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me.
Excited to have you on the show. What led you
Mhm.
to throw axes and then say, let's, open a place for everyone to come and throw axes and feel a little stress relief? It is National Stress Awareness Month, y'all. So I'm just saying,
Mhm.
it's National Fun Day. So we're having fun in Asheville today, but it's also
Always.
Stress Release Awareness Day. So yeah, everyone go to Axeville. Welcome back.
Yeah, we definitely have some stress relief. We think of that as kind of a daily or monthly thing. We don't ever have a stressful time at Axeville, but it started mostly when we moved here. Just wanted to do something a little bit different. We definitely wanted to open up a little business and employ some local people and just really be a part of the community. So uh, I went from being an IT guy and a natural progression to throwing axes. Uh, and it just seemed, we looked around thinking we want something fun and something different. And that was right when axe throwing was starting to become a thing, but yet
Mhm.
not well known enough that we didn't get crazy looks from family, friends, strangers that every time we mentioned that we're going to be throwing axes, that you're doing what? Wait, that's a business. So
Mhm.
it was an interesting time to get into it, but it was a really fun and challenging environment, and we've been thriving ever since. So we were very glad we made that choice back then.
I love it. I love it. And you also get to sip on, local brews and ciders, I believe, while you do this.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the next big thing, that the catchphrase "beer and axes, what could possibly go wrong?"
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
heard from, again, lenders, from contractors, and everyone. To just, it seemed crazy because people just assumed that you were going to be sitting in a bar and after a few hours decide, hey, let's throw some axes, and they it didn't occur to them that no, this is pretty much by appointment. You come in at 2 o'clock, and perhaps you have a beer, after a few minutes of throwing, and maybe you have a second one before you take off for the day. And so it's a very casual atmosphere. But once we
Mhm.
got going and people caught the idea, it really seemed to catch on and stick around.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And
It's
Cindy,
fun.
I know that you guys like beer over at the WNC Nature Center, don't you?
We sure
Don't you
do.
have a beer event, a beer party?
Yes, indeed.
So we have an incredible partnership with a few local brewers, Appalachian Mountain Brewery, Highland Brewing, and we have a relationship with Metro Wines, and they all come together to help us host our very exciting and popular annual summer event series called Brews and Bears, kicking off
Mhm.
May 9th. That's the first one. It's the second Friday of every month through the summer. So May 9th, June 13th, July 11th, August 8th. And those tickets are going on sale tomorrow, live
Oh,
tomorrow.
Yay.
hey,
Yep.
well, we got good timing, don't we? And
Right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
after the Nature Center, we got doused, and we thought it was funny because we hid in the barn, and
Yeah.
there was some interesting sounds coming out of that barn.
Uh-huh.
I didn't make them. I don't know,
Steve was
Steve
talking to chickens.
Steve was
Yeah.
talking to chickens. Steve was very popular with the vultures.
Yep.
He was
They
quitting. He
like
was,
my bright orange Tennessee orange shirt.
yep. We try to remind him that you don't have to wear your prison gear. But anyway, I'm just kidding. And then we took him to Axeville and we sorted. No, kidding. but all the animals enjoyed Steve's fashion sense yesterday. It was fantastic. But Cindy, now you've been to Axeville, right? WNC Nature Center. All of you guys went and had a party.
We actually had our annual, Friends Retreat. Our organization that I work for is the Friends of the WNC Nature Center. So we're the 501c3 nonprofit that supports
Mm.
all the great work you see at the Nature Center. And we have an annual staff retreat, where we start to think about what the year looks like. And we did it at Axeville. We went and threw some axes for an hour or two. And
That's
then,
cool.
yeah, it was really smart by our, executive director to get us out there and get us, all warmed up by throwing axes and then sit down and try and have meaningful conversation.
That's well, I think if you have a problem with the teammate, I mean, Glenn, how does this work? I mean, sometimes you may want to throw an axe at your boss. Can you do that? Can you take someone out? Like not physically, obviously, but can you
Well,
like put a
as the
label?
boss, I really discourage throwing axes at the boss. So,
There
but
you go.
no, it's a good stress reliever for most people, and we do have everything from work parties where people want to put up either pictures of their boss, or we've had divorce parties where someone wants to put up a
Oh,
picture of,
cool.
of an ex-spouse. We sort of encourage a little more thoughtfulness. We really don't like to get anything that graphic, but we actually had one of the local schools come in and put up their frustrations on paper, bus routes, early hours, extra
Mm.
homework. And, we're throwing at that just to kind of make it a more literal stress reliever and frustration reliever. So
That's
we definitely
cool.
find that a lot of people that come in, especially those who have never done it and think they may not be very good at it, end up enjoying it because it is a stress reliever that you are throwing a pound and a half at a time, and you throw that 100 times and suddenly you've thrown 150 pounds, and it does give you a decent workout and a little bit of a
Mhm.
aerobic activity.
That's fun. That sounds
It is
fun to
fun.
me. You guys, Steve and Karen, this is something really unique for you. And this is what the whole show is,
Right.
tourism coming back to Asheville, travelers. It is gorgeous out. There are flowers everywhere. I mean, the red
Mm.
buds are all in bloom, so they're not red bud anymore. They're pink blossom trees now. But there's, flowers everywhere, and it's going to be just gorgeous to go out on the, Pisgah National Forest, obviously, the North Carolina Arboretum, the Biltmore. Karen,
Yeah,
those are some places for flower power right now for people, right?
sure is. We
Mm.
just visited Biltmore a few days ago. It's beautiful right now, and as you see, our gardens are blooming. It's just pretty everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's we did go to Highland Brewing yesterday, and
We did.
after the storm, we thought, okay, and we I don't know, we got delayed at Highland Brewing. Somebody wanted another beer
Mm,
somehow, and then we never made it to wine tasting at the Biltmore, but we'll have to do that again. But the Biltmore is the that's one of the top 3, like the Blue Ridge Parkway, Pisgah Forest, and the Biltmore. Those are like the top 3 things that people know about for Asheville. But I love that we're, shining the spotlight on, something like Axeville, the Pinball Museum. They couldn't make it on the show, but Steve, you've been to the Pinball Museum, you and Karen, right? And we
yeah.
Yep,
could be kids all day long there.
Oh
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I was,
fun.
yeah. I mean, it's pinball machines. I was reading it's what 40 pinball machines, and then they have I think it's like 40 video games.
Yeah, you got some old school video games in the one room,
Yep.
so you can go play
80s
Pac-Man or
style.
Centipede or stuff like that.
Oh, cool, man. That makes me feel good. And you pay one price and you're there all day
Yep.
long having
Yep.
Mm,
fun. Now, Glenn, have you done this? Cindy or Glenn, have you been to the pinball museum, either of you?
This is Cindy. Yeah, I have. I have been.
Oh, that's cool.
fun.
I actually went with my husband on a date night, and then we loved it so much we thought that we could bring our 5-year-old who loved it equally, although we had to like manage his time a little bit.
Oh,
um, but yeah, it's such an awesome historic like walk
Yeah.
into my childhood, really. Um,
Hmm.
in a really cool historic area of Asheville by the Grove Arcade, and
Right.
yeah, it's just a very, very cool business. And, like a lot of businesses around here, I, think and hope that we can maintain these really, really cool businesses with character.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Absolutely.
thing. I know, Glenn, you've got to be happy people are coming back. I know it's a little slow still, but, um, for people coming in, with weddings and corporate retreats, I think the group things are starting to happen, right, for you guys, or are we needing to like tell everybody to get going and start booking?
Well, we would never say no to you telling people to get going and start booking,
So
but
everyone get going.
yeah, I mean we've been pleasantly surprised. It's still obviously, as you mentioned, it's nowhere near what it was pre-storm, but it's been busier than I would have guessed it would have been.
That's
Um,
awesome.
That's very
we're
good.
definitely the groups kind of help us through the slow tourism, and obviously our locals have been heavily impacted, but we
Hmm.
have had a good number of either corporate events or birthday parties, or those who may be working remotely and haven't really been affected financially. So it's been enough to keep us going and to keep us happy, but obviously we're still hoping and waiting for Asheville to really get through the toughest part, which I think is going to be this summer for a lot of businesses. So we're
Mm.
just hoping and, keeping everyone else in our thoughts for the rest of the summer and to kind of get things back in charge the way we were.
I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Steve and
Hmm.
Karen, I mean, doing these podcasts and right after the hurricane, we did those online events. And Cindy, you came on one of the podcasts. We started doing podcasts every week to let people know about what was going on in Asheville. And it was kind of this touch and go of should people come up. And we had to wait. You
Right.
guys had to wait for water or electricity, all these things. And I want the general population, listening of our audience to understand. Oh, by the way, if you missed the Good Morning American, you ever recorded that or whatever, go watch that. They did an amazing job promoting tourism back here and all the different relief work. And there's so much going on. You can't walk through a neighborhood in Asheville without hearing a hammer going. And at the same time, we still need a lot of people up here, manpower. You can. Nancy and I are here. We're having a good time. This is the second time we're back in Asheville this year, having a good time with Steve and Karen, going around and
Hmm.
seeing buildings. So, as visitors, you absolutely can have an awesome time. That's why we're doing this, so you guys can hear about like the nature center and the arboretum. There's waterfalls that you can easily access. There's hiking. The spas are opening and the parks are opening. So the River
Mhm.
Art District is still rebuilding, and there are still studios open. So the downtown is bustling and thriving. There's all kinds of restaurants and different activities to experience. But Asheville went through this. Karen, this is true. It's October, mid September through October and into mid November is like a top season
It
for
is.
Asheville. And then going into Christmas, because the Biltmore gets all dressed up for Christmas. So for Asheville to miss that and then go into winter, which is typically the slowest time for a
Right.
mountain town, unless you have skiing in your backyard, but this is like a general thing. And so now spring is so spectacular and there's so much open. Karen, so right now it's like you really don't want people to wait till summer, right? Or fall to
No.
come.
No, spring has always been a great time for anybody to be here. Just all our events start happening. We're gonna start having like our downtown after 5. So you got music and beer and axes and animals. I mean, there's so many things to do and the weather's just perfect right now.
Mm. I want to go back to the funding with Cindy because the WNC Nature Center, I know you're the friends of, so you help with that fundraising arm to help the Nature Center. How are you guys doing in survival wise, in regards to fundraising and everything? Because obviously the Bears event, the Beer and Bears event will help, right? But with you guys having been closed, has that affected you?
Yeah, so it's this weird double-edged sword fundraising, right? My inclination as the director of development for the organization was to not ask for money from any local organizations at all, because at the time we're looking at October, November, there was a human toll, and
Mhm.
and we needed to provide all of our resources in making sure people were okay. And so for me, coming up with a strategy where we continued thriving as an organization, didn't tax local resources, required, a strategy that involved partners around the world, really. And so our strategy was to reach out to our large network of zoos and aquariums and conservation partners all over the world who had folks that wanted to support our recovery. And that strategy worked really well for us. Again,
Nice.
I had mentioned that we're a partner of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, which AZA gives our
Mhm.
accreditation. And, we did an outreach to the president and CEO of that organization and said, we have this amazing solicitation letter, which we will not be sending out to our community. But how do you feel about sending it out to the broader AZA community? And they said, absolutely, unequivocally, of course. And so we were
Oh,
getting donations from like Quebec, Canada, Mexico, California, Vermont. I
wow.
mean,
That's
we at
Wow.
one
awesome.
point did a map where we showed where our donors, were sending support from. And I mean, it was all over the place. So that was, our strategy, and that really carried us through. And now as we're moving into this arena of, bloom, right? After every
Mhm.
storm, the flowers bloom again. And we are trying to finish up some really important projects. You probably saw them walking around the
Mhm.
Nature Center yesterday.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so the fundraising is kicking back in locally, where we're trying to solidify not just individual donors, but corporate partners, companies that want to get involved in the Nature Center, both because it's like a feel good, but because they know the exposure to the
Mhm.
local community. We stand to have over like 200,000 people, coming through our entrance. And so we do benefit local companies in that way.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, we're trying to be really intentional. We know the area is still not on the up and up, and we have to be very mindful of that. And we also have to be mindful of, for us as a conservation organization, any shortfall of, funding coming into us from grants that we would previously been able to rely on that we can't anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, it really is an interesting thing that we're dealing with in regards to getting people back. So it's getting people
Ooh.
back up here to do things. So, Steve, I wanted to ask you, when you look at all the breweries, so majority of there are some closures, but I know you love to brew beer here at the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast. In fact, you'll get a pint when you check in. And then there's also beer mimosas on Sundays, and April is brunch month, y'all. So, like, stay at a bed and breakfast like the Lion and the Rose. So yeah, tell us a little bit, Steve, in regards to that, what people can expect for Beer City, USA. Like, there's a lot of beer still being poured, right?
Oh yeah, sure, pretty much. I mean, we've lost a couple of breweries. I understand Catawba downtown is no longer going to be there.
But they're moving
Yeah,
locations. They're
but they're
moving
moving
locations.
locations, so they're just moving over, I guess. But yeah, pretty much. We had heard that the Funkatorium was going to be closing down, but that was a lie, or something changed.
Temporarily.
It's just a
Yeah.
temporary thing. So they're rebuilding and doing a whole thing with their beer garden, I guess, to make it more, I guess maybe a more German theme or something like that. I don't know. I'm really not sure what the details are, but they were mentioning that they're going to have a nice beer garden there.
Cool.
Um,
So
so that would be really nice.
a lot of live music and then beer, and of course you can get beer and the Bears at the Nature Center. You can get beer and axes at Axeville, so a lot of beer
Hmm.
flowing. And
Yep.
it's also great to have a beer after a nice hike in the forest.
Mhm.
Karen, waterfalls is another thing that is really cool about this area, for people, and so those are flowing now, right? So not ice
Oh
falls
yeah.
like we talked about in the winter, but people can
Yep.
go out easily, right, to be able to see them.
Yeah, there's a lot of trails open now. We've been to several. One of the last waterfalls we did was Catawba Falls, and that's mostly the trails have been really nicely cleared. You can still see obviously some destruction, but it's in good shape, and that's one of the nicest waterfalls. Easy for most people to do.
Mhm.
Our pups go all the time. Easy
Oh,
for
cool.
dogs.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go around to each of you. We had a wonderful day yesterday going to Highland Brewing. They have a beer that a percentage goes towards recovery efforts. So if you go to Highland Brewing, they're really cool with that. Um, but yeah, if we could go around and ask everyone, um, what would you consider something unique other than what we've talked about today? A unique and fun adventure in Asheville that would be super awesome. So let's go to you, Glenn. Tell us one unique thing that people can do, unique to Asheville.
I really one of the things that first brought us here was obviously the outdoor, the hiking, enjoying the view of the mountains. And one of our fun ones that we've always liked is the Laurel Creek, which is a pretty
Mm.
nearby location. It's all things considered from a mountainous region. It's a pretty flat, easy to walk. Goes along the Laurel Creek the entire way, and it's a gorgeous, easy, quick getaway. So if you don't have a lot of time or you can't devote an entire day to driving, maybe all the way to Pisgah or spending that much time, it's a really fun, beautiful, let you see what you're missing by not being here.
Mhm.
That's super cool. Now, I want to go over to you, Cindy. I love that. I mean, because it's going to be flower season all through summer too, man. The flowers are incredible on the Ridge Parkway and Pisgah National Forest, and butterflies, and yes, and moonbeams and fairy tales. Sorry, I went into Jimi Hendrix mode, but anyway, that's Cindy.
Mhm.
Um, tell us a little bit, a place that you would recommend or a unique activity that's super fun, for people coming out.
I mean, to
It's
be
hard, I
honest,
know, so
well,
much.
to be honest, just getting out there and enjoying the trails and like giving some love to our trails again,
Yeah.
because they've just been so destroyed. I took a walk
Hmm.
up on the Blue Ridge Parkway from the Folk Art Center,
Hmm.
Mm,
and really just looking and understanding what our canopy has gone through, and how hard folks around here have worked to get those trails to where they are so that they can be accessed again. To me, one of the biggest, you know, the biggest ideas of this area is what we can learn from this area, right? What can we learn
Right.
from the trails and the trees and the people and the work and the water? And so I would say, just very intentionally walk through the woods, um,
mhm,
take a walk around Beaver Lake, check out the bird sanctuary,
Hmm.
go to the Arboretum and go hike through, um, Bent Creek experimental, you know, and
Yeah.
just give some love to the trees.
Well, I love, it's really true about the nature. I mean, the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian, region is on people's bucket list if they've never been. And it is incredible and it's so biodiverse. And it's really true when you look at what has gone on for nature and you have this appreciation now, this extra, like, wow, this is what happened. I do want to just give a shout out. Like April is, Earth Day. Earth Day is coming up. We also have National Park Week. So the Blue Ridge Parkway is part of the National Park System, and that starts April 19th. And of course, you've got Smoky Mountains National Park, and we've got let's try and keep everything clean too. So much work is still being done in recovery, and a lot of that is picking up debris. So let us, as being the travelers coming to this region, let's not add to the debris. Let's help pick up the debris.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So just some thoughts out there. As travelers, the more we can help and be part of the community, the quicker this region can get back to normal. And they are stewards of the land. This entire community, or just everyone, is centered on this beautiful natural landscape that is here, that is unique to the world. So
Right.
that's a really important thing to think of. And I want to give a big happy birthday to the WNC Nature Center, because y'all are like 100 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling so bad about
Wow.
going over the
That's
hill.
awesome.
But you're 100 years old and 50
Yeah.
years for the Friends,
Woo.
which is
That's
your
right.
Yay.
organization.
Thank you for
Wow.
that birthday well wish. March is a
Yeah.
big month for us, right? We're celebrating our centennial. The Nature Center is celebrating our centennial, and the Friends organization is 50 years into ensuring that the Nature Center sticks around for generations to come.
Okay,
That's
so this means
awesome.
cake,
Awesome.
y'all. So, okay, I want to still go back to Steve and Karen on unique fun activities,
Oh,
but like, let's talk cake real quick. Sweet treats in Asheville. Listen, Mother's Day is coming, so this is another thing. Think about gift certificates, like places to the Lion and the Rose, bed and breakfast. What you're gonna do with mom on Mom's Day? Easter weekend is coming up, so like, there's all these really good reasons to come to Asheville. You
Mm-hmm.
may, I don't know, Mom's Day at Axeville. Maybe she should be axing you. I don't know. But Glenn, if somebody wants birthday cake at Axeville, can that happen?
Oh,
Are we allowed to bring cake?
absolutely. We always like
Well,
to tell folks that if there's something that we don't provide, that we're happy to let you bring it in. So what we normally uh, do is, because we have a pretty amazing selection of beer, wine, cider. We've got about 35 to 40 different
oh, nice.
varieties,
whoa.
but we
Mm-hmm.
don't have much food more than some protein snacks or some popcorn or pretzels. So we tell people, especially if you're doing a party, whether it's a birthday party, bachelorette party, or corporate event, when you book with us, we'll send you a list of vendors that have worked with us before. So hey, here's some pizza options, here's barbecue, tell us what you want to do, we'll help you find the right caterer to get the event done. And by caterer, not even a full-blown caterer, but just to have food delivered and set up, or you can bring pizzas with you or cakes. We'll set up tables, tablecloths, put up decorations. We try to make each event, no matter how small, feel special to whoever's having it. But
Yeah.
we with that, we set up tables for the birthday presents, or whatever we can do to make it as enjoyable as possible for each
I
person.
I think this should be a wedding thing. I think they should, like, part of the ceremony is throw an axe together and see what happens.
Well, we've actually been at a few different weddings with our mobile unit. We've
Oh,
taken
really?
that trailer, and we've been. We did one at the Wag Bar. We've done a couple at different
Mm,
wedding
that's
venues that
cool.
are farms, and bride and groom throwing together. It's really kind of funny that
That's
people
cool.
So
look
you
to
could
do
be a
something like
battle
that.
axe from the start, you know?
Absolutely.
Aren't you on Battle Axe Drive or something? Battle, you are, like, no? Aren't you
Oh,
on? Oh, I'm in my mode here now. I just want to make, silly comments about axes, but let's talk about cake. Where would you recommend someone get something sweet and cakey for, like, this kind of epic celebration of 100 years? Or where would you say in Asheville, Glen, would be a good place for a sweet tooth person,
Um, that ironically, the a couple of the places that I would normally go to have gone out of business over the last
Oh,
6 8 months, and I don't do a
oh,
lot of the private events. Not all of them storm related. Some of them just had their run, and either
yeah,
chose to do something else, or things didn't work out quite
Yeah.
how they had hoped. But we used to offer cookies and other fresher treats when we were busier, and could actually ensure that we had fresher stuff that could get purchased and
yeah.
eaten in a timely manner.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
uh, if it was just not cake wise, but just even the stuff like old Europe pastries is
oh, yeah,
always
yeah, yeah,
uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
a tasty
Hmm.
place to stop and get things. But a lot of the fancier cookie places like Crumble and all of those are what we normally tell people, that you can get the individual smaller
Mm.
serving, so that you can kind of get what you want without going whole hog on a giant cake. But again, depends on
Hmm.
the size of the business, and uh, I'd
I
have a
could go whole hog on a cake, especially if it's carrot cake. I'm in. I'm sorry. It's exciting. I think it's National Carrot Month. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the Easter Bunny. I don't know. But Cindy, for you, what would you recommend for someone who has a sweet tooth in Asheville? Because I think that's a unique, fun thing too. Is eating.
Hmm.
Old Europe.
Okay, like you were saying, yeah. Okay, so Old
Yep.
Europe is getting points.
Yeah.
Steve, what would you recommend for something sweet?
Well, I'd either say the Crave Bar, because you can go get some bourbon along with some sweets. And
Sounds
there's
good.
also
Sugar Rush.
there's a pie place that we know of. It's outside of near Sweeten Creek, I think it is. Somewhere around there
Yeah,
is.
baked pie. Baked pie,
Oh,
you're thinking.
Yeah, you can get a
sounds like
flight of
a
pie.
A
oh,
plate of
all
pie.
right. Hey, pie is good. Now,
Yeah.
Karen bakes wonderful brownies here at the Line and the Rose. So for a sweet treat, when you check in,
Mm,
and I know those brownies have wine in them, don't they?
they sure do.
From the
Have to
Biltmore.
have something a little extra special for everyone.
Yeah, last time it was with the Biltmore wine, right? That we were supposed to
Hmm.
have, like naughty children.
Yeah.
But okay, so anywhere else that you would recommend for sweet, sweet treats for a birthday, Karen?
Yep. Chocolate fetish is my spot. I
Oh,
love their truffles. They got delicious truffles, and we have not had one yet. But for birthdays or celebrations, they do a smash cake where it's a chocolate shell of a cake, and they fill it with whatever kind of candies you want in there.
Oh gosh.
ooh, oh boy,
Hmm.
oh boy, oh boy. All right, so Karen, for you as a unique activity, fun activity for someone coming to Asheville that we haven't talked about yet, and then Steve, I'm coming after you next
Hello.
because he's got to brew beer today. I know he is. Where
Well,
would
to
you
me,
say, Karen? Yeah.
so there's so many great places, and it's hard to narrow it down. But I will say one of my favorite places that's a little bit of a unique spot that I like to recommend to everyone is Battery Park Book Exchange and Champagne Bar.
Mm,
The
sounds good.
bookstore is very Victorian. It's just a nice ambiance. They have nice light bites. You can do like mimosas or champagne flight, and they have live music in there. So they have it all in there.
Oh, that's champagne. Why not?
Hmm.
We've got to have the other bubbly. You got the beer bubbly. Now we need the champagne bubbly. Everyone's got to be taken care of. Steve, for you, what's a unique event or destination that people should go to?
Hmm. Well, I think keep your eyes out on like the music scene around here, because there's getting to be quite a few more bands. We like going down to the Asheville Music Hall. We've been there a few times lately, and it's pretty nice. They got a I'm not sure if he plays every night, but there's a blues man who plays in their downstairs
Hmm.
area, and he does
Cool.
Yes,
acoustic blues, and he's fantastic.
he
But
is.
then you'll have more on their upstairs. They'll have more like cover bands and things like that, and the drinks are reasonable, and it's a good time.
And you
Yeah,
got the
fun local spot.
orange peel, and is it the
Orange peel too, of
Cherokee
course.
orange peel, and
Orange,
then you got the Cherokee
Gray
Center that you
Eagle.
guys go to? Is that right?
Yeah,
The
Gray
Cherokee.
Eagle too.
Great
Yep.
Eagle
Okay.
too.
Okay. My unique adventure for Asheville is one of the first things we did. And, I got 2. Okay, I'm
Oh.
sorry because I'm being bad. Um, but behind the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast is one of the best cemeteries on the planet, and that is
Hmm.
where the
Sure.
writers O. Henry and Thomas Wolfe are laid to rest, so that is something very unique for book lovers, running on the book thing, but Asheville
Hmm.
is a creative city and always has been. The trolley tours, highly recommend for people to go on those to get their, bearings of the city. There's even a comedy one, but my one of my favorite things and I wish we need to go. Maybe we can still go today.
Yeah.
The North Carolina Arboretum is here, and really
Yes.
talk about Frederick Olmsted, who is, the landscape architect of America, and this history is so amazing. It's connected to the Biltmore, and there's just so much history. But um, in the Arboretum, and I hope it's safe and sound. I haven't checked yet, but the Arboretum has got a quilt garden, which a lot of people are attracted to and excited about because it looks like a quilt, and you can look from
Mhm.
upstairs down, and it's beautiful. But this is the national area. It's like the national collection of azaleas. And we went the first time. I think the bloom had been gone, but there was one still really beautiful. But they have the state azalea from every state in the United States. So over 50 specimens representing
Mhm.
America's azaleas. And I think that's pretty special and cool. And so I
It is.
think azaleas should be coming up. Maybe we're still too early for that, I think.
Yeah, it's too
Um,
early.
but I wanna see them all in bloom. I wanna that to
We
me is
still
unique.
we
You're
still
not
have
gonna
missed
find
it
that
too.
anywhere in the country because this is the one. This is the, collection. So,
Mhm.
I love that. So, has anybody else seen that? Has anyone on the show today been and seen the azaleas all in bloom
We
when it's azalea season?
I have not.
Uh-oh. Alright,
we've
y'all.
missed it. Each time we've tried, we've missed it. It's either been too early or too late.
Ah, it's awesome. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us here on a Big Blend radio live stream of Adventures in Asheville show. We are here every first Tuesday with a new episode on the Adventures in Asheville channel. And usually it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time, but we're here and we're live and the flowers are blooming. It's beautiful. Please come. I'm going to go through everyone. If you have any last things to get people to know about, please let me know and share. So we're going to go to you, Glenn, over in Axeville. Everyone, again, you can go to throwaxeville.com. Glenn, anything to close off with?
Just that we are looking forward to hosting anyone and everyone. We're open, ready for business of any size and sort, mobile or
Yeah,
brick and
that's right.
mortar.
Oh,
And
I
we've
like
got a code for you guys that anyone listening, the big blend will be a 10% discount for anyone
nice.
using that.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you for that. That's awesome. So everyone, Big Blend, that's a good name because there's a big blend of stuff to do in Asheville. Just saying. There's something for
Absolutely.
everyone. There really is. You can go zip
Mhm.
lining, right? That's
Yes,
still happening.
that
Zip
just
lining.
reopened. Yep.
Oh,
Spa treatments, foot treatments, all kinds of good stuff, and you can do yoga with goats. Like, who doesn't want to do
Yes.
that? Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying, Cindy over at the Friends of the WNC Nature Center. Go to wildwnc.org. Cindy, anything to close off with?
Come visit us. Come see our animals, give them some love, and then go hit up Highland right afterwards, just like you guys did.
All
yeah.
right, sounds good. I know.
It's
I
a good
love it. I
plan.
love it. Stephen, Karen, in closing, any special packages or anything you have going for the spring for folks coming in?
We have all our normal packages like romance packages, baseball packages. That's going to be starting with baseball season next week. We have a couple of new partners that we've connected with in the last 2 weeks, so there will be some new exciting things coming soon.
All right, so everyone, lion-rose.com is the website to check out. They've always got something cool going on. And if you want cake in your room for your birthday or anniversary, I know things can happen like that, right? That can be
Mhm.
Yep.
part of a package. And they even
Mm-hmm.
have a package for beer lovers that if you stay the right amount of nights, you get a little mini keg in your room.
You
Um,
betcha.
Yep.
yes, we highly recommend that. How many nights do they have to stay, Karen,
Well,
for
we
that?
were doing 4, but you know what? For this year, I think for the rest of this year, we're going to go with 3. So if people are willing
Okay.
to spend 3 nights, they'll get that in-room tap just for themselves.
With Steve's
Mhm.
homemade brew, and he is a good
Mm-hmm.
master, he is, and a good breakfast chef. So,
Yep.
just
Yes.
saying, there's good stuff that's always
Are they
been cooked.
coming?
Yep, and good brownies, happy
Yes.
brownies. So, everyone, thank you so much. Go to lion-rose.com. Of course, keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Thank you all for joining us. It's been super fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hi guys.
Yeah,
Thanks again.
and happy fun day, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's Adventures in Asheville show. Learn more about the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast, which is located in the historic Montford district of Asheville, North Carolina. Go to lion-rose.com. You can keep up with our Big Blend radio shows at bigblendradio.com.